Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. You won't just start all the reading. I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome to Storytime. I'm glad you're here with us today. Happy Thursday. And of course, if you're in the school systems, or indeed if you're part of Town Observe Cesar Chavez Day, it is Cesar Chavez Day tomorrow. So your weekend starts today. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I hope that you are well. And of course, to find out more about this personality that we're honoring with this day. And lots and lots to learn from such an amazing activist, especially for workers' rights. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I hope that you are well wherever you are. I'm glad that we can be here together for another story, another amazing community to explore. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And our book is coming from Zetta Elliott, a good friend of ours here at Storytime and author of many wonderful books, including, of course, the award-winning A Place Inside of Me. But as I was looking at this book earlier, I mean, this is an earlier this was published much earlier by Zetta Elliott, but still there's a whole long list of books on here too that she done up to this point. So if you've not checked out Zetta Elliott, well, do so. And I do have one that I really love as well, and this one is called Say Her Name, and it's a poetry, a collection of poems, and just so beautiful, powerful, and there different ones in here that you can get to look at. And we have read this one here on Storytime, or at least excerpts of it, and just powerful, beautiful poems. And I hope that you get a chance to look at that one. Say Her Name by Zetta Elliott. But of course, she's brought us many wonderful books, and today we get to enjoy On My Block. Yeah, is it on your block, in your community, in your city, in your town? What do you love? What do you see? Let's find out what this one is all about. Coming up very, very shortly. But of course, too, we continue to highlight Pamela Courtney has a brand new book coming out on May 20th. May 20th, mark your calendars. And of course, ask your libraries and schools, wherever else that you think this book deserves to be. Ask them so that it is ready May 20th and everybody can get to enjoy it. A season for fishing, a fish fry tradition. And yes, Pamela Courtney, Tony D. Chambers, and this is being published by Farrar, Straus and Giroux, an imprint of Macmillan Press. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I hope you're ready for our story. Cannot wait. Thank you indeed for joining us. Happy Thursday to you wherever you are. If you're out here in the Bay, I think we have a high of about 60 degrees. So just be sure to, I think, carry that extra layer with you. It is important. And of course, if you're elsewhere, check and see what the weather is like. Do you need your sunscreen? Do you need that hat with you? Right? So check. But don't forget those water bottles as well. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. It is important. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. And big advocate, Vaseline. Yes, use that for your lips and your skin. Don't let it dry out, right? Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you on my block coming right up. I'll see you on the other side of this very short break.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. Limata.
Welcome back. Thank you indeed, Zetta Elliott, creator of many wonderful books, including On My Block, that we're just about to enjoy right now. Thank you indeed for joining in here on Storytime. Good morning to you, Kathy. How are you doing out there in Ohio? Good to see you. And Luna, I hope that you are well too. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Yes, how is it in Ohio today? What's the weather like? Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime on My Block. This one is written by Zetta Elliott, illustrations by Purple Wong. And this is one of Zetta Elliott's self-published books. On My Block. Published by Rosetta Press, Zetta Elliott. And written by Zetta Elliott, illustrations by Purple Wong. And that list to talk about some of those on my block. Yeah. In the city, on my block, flowers grow in gardens and bloom on the sidewalk. Is it like that in your city too? In your block? In the city, on my block, flowers grow in gardens and bloom on the sidewalk. In the city, high above my block, the wind lifts the wings of a red-tailed hawk. Yeah. In the city, high above my block, the wind lifts the wings of a red-tailed hawk. Yeah. What birds do you see in your neighborhood? In the city, at the end of the block, artists paint murals and make the walls talk. Isn't that beautiful? In the city, at the end of the block, artists paint murals and make the walls talk. In the city, not far from my block, church bells tell the time. Yeah, no need for a clock. Yeah, in the city, not far from my block, church bells tell the time. No need for a clock. In the city, neighbors on my block open their doors wherever we knock. Yeah. In the city, neighbors on my block open the doors whenever we knock. Yeah. In the city, up and down our block, families cook their food with a pot, a grill, or wok. Yeah. How is it in your neighborhood, on your block? In the city, up and down our block, families cook their food with a pot, grill, or wok. Yeah. Can you smell that food? Ah, it's making me hungry. In the city, our entire block throws a party each summer, and the DJ makes us rock. Yes. In the city, Our entire block throws a party each summer, and the DJ makes us rock. Yes. Oh, because of this book, the song that keeps replaying in my head today as I've been going is On My Block. But I'm trying to remember who the artist is. The tune is there in my head. Everything is everything on my block. But yeah, I'll see if I can remember the name before I leave. But yeah, in the city, our entire block throws a party each summer, and the DJ makes us rock. Yeah. What's your favorite song? I love my block. Ah, yes. I love my block for sure, for sure. Oh, and that is the end of our story today. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you are able to get this book, there are questions on the back that you can get to use, especially if you have little ones, to get to dive in and look at those. Say, what do you love most about your block? They can write about it, they can draw about it, you can draw about it, you can write about it, right? Name 3 places you love to visit. Name 3 events that bring your neighbors together. Name 3 people you love to see. Great questions to think about, right? Yeah, so there's a lot, and then there's the other things as well in the back here. Draw a flower on the sidewalk, paint, and so much more. So this is more than a book. It's an activity, and I hope that you get to enjoy it. You get to try this out with your family, your friends, your people, your community, your block. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Story Time. Thank you indeed, Kathy. Yes, really cute book. And Zetta Elliott is just amazing, continues to give us many wonderful books. This one is illustrated by Purple WONG, and it is called On My Block. We'll be right back after this short break for more Story Time. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Story Time.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. Limata.
Yes, indeed. Zetta Elliott. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate the time that we get to spend together, and of course, the wonderful books that we get to read, including this cute book On My Block that we just read. So if you're able, go to zettaelliott.com and find it, and of course, access all the amazing things in the back. Or indeed, if you reach out to me, let me know. I will try and get a copy to you. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And if you're off tomorrow, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope it is fulfilling. I hope it is indeed beautiful. And I hope we get to reflect on the work of Cesar Chavez. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Storytime. Tomorrow won't be a live story time, but we'll bring back a reread, a pre-recording of Crescent Moons and Pointed Minarets, a Muslim book of shapes. And this one is, of course, coming to us from our friend Henna Khan, and it is illustrated by Mehrdokht Amini. I hope that you get to enjoy this one as well as we continue to commemorate and join our friends in the Muslim community as they continue to observe Ramadan. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Appreciations all around. I hope to see you again when we're back live on Monday. But please remember, Storytime is there for you. Pre-recording tomorrow, Crescent Moons and Pointed Minarets. And then, of course, we're back with live stories next week. And we will be featuring Chronicle Books Spring Catalog next week, and probably the next. We'll let you know, but for sure next week. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Pamela Courtney, congratulations. Code a season for fishing, a fish fry tradition, and yes, illustrations by Tony D. Chambers, Farah Strauss, and Giroux. Yes, congratulations, Pamela Courtney. And I know there are many other books in the works. Cannot wait. But May 20th, a season for fishing arrives. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Appreciate you. Kathy, one more time, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope that you have a wonderful day indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Pamela, Courtney, thank you for joining us out there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. To everybody that is joining us later on for the recordings, well, thank you. And we see your comments. We appreciate you. I hope that you enjoy the books. And please keep sending in those recommendations. I've not gotten any recommendations of late, but if you can, please send us. Let us know what you'd like to see and hear right here on Storytime. It is your program after all. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Biggest of hugs, and I'll see you again on Monday live. But remember, tomorrow we bring you crescent moons and pointed minarets, a pre-recording from earlier as we continue to celebrate Ramadan. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. Biggest of hugs, and I will see you again on Monday. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Read me all of your stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.